Hey folks, welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth. Today is Tuesday, September 29th, and in today's video and daily market recap, we're going to be discussing the debate that is scheduled for tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern and a few other market moving news and economic events. So before we jump into that, just make sure to smash the like and consider subscribing to the channel and be notified on any future updates. So first, we'll take a look at well, first there's the debate tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. I think you can tune in online on multiple different, but if you're from Canada, I know CBC News is streaming it online, so you can check it out there. We did have some stimulus talks which resumed today between Pelosi and Mnuchin. So we saw that the demo rats, I made a joke today. I thought that was pretty funny, but if you look at the timing of this bill and whenever the demo rats came out with this, it was right around when SPY was at 319, which was the daily higher low support. And we saw this article perfectly timed. And if you're new to investing, you're probably, just kind of, this flew under the radar. But if you've been around for a while, you know that they planned this. And we're going to discuss whether or not I think they're going to pass this bill before the election. And in short, I don't think they will. But before we jump into my thoughts, I just wanted to say that they did resume talks this morning. They spoke for about 50 minutes, I think it was, today. And yeah, spoke for 50 minutes and went over the provisions, blah, 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 blah. It's unclear if they moved any closer to a compromise. So again, they timed that article perfectly when SPY was at 319 to avoid mass panic. It was a way for them to manipulate the market, send everything back up again, and go long and probably short the top, make retail buy the top again. And in my opinion, I don't think they're going to pass it because what are they going to do? If you look at certain parts of Canada, Ontario, Quebec, the UK already under shutdown again, and looks like another wave could be coming. And who in the right mind would pass another bill right before a potential second occurrence of this sickness, right? So why would they approve one now and then have to do it again in maybe a month or two, right? If things end up being worse than the first round, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I think it's just all smoke and mirrors, to be honest, to get people bullish again. And you can see here that they shaved off about $1 trillion, and the Republicans, so the Trump party, they didn't really want to pass anything over 1.5 trillion, I think it was. So that's coming in a little over what they wanted, but you can see here, these are what the breakdowns are for. You can read those yourself. I'm not going to jump into them for sake of time in this video. So again, the talks are supposed to resume tomorrow. We have the debate, so all eyes on the futures tonight. We'll be watching gold as well. And Thursday, we have the economic data, so the initial jobless claims. And Friday, we have the last jobs report for September before the election. So some trade reviews. I mentioned in my video yesterday that I swung some SPXS and some SQQQ, still swinging those. We did see some consolidation and some daily consolidation on SPY today. Still swinging those. I'll swing those overnight, and we'll jump into some charts here. So first on the list, we'll take a look at SPY. Just coming on to the end of the day here, you can see that volume is ramping up on the sell side. We got about 6 minutes left in the day, so we'll check back here in a second. But I did post in the community today that I expect that we probably whipsaw until the end of the trading day today, and that's exactly what we've been doing for the last 2 days, is basically just going sideways. And what I suspect is they'll close this right around the 50-day moving average and the 10-week moving average. So the 10-week moving average is 334.76, and the 50-day moving average is 33.91. So I could see them closing it right around that level. Same with QQQ. I would expect maybe to close above that. Yeah, 273.88. We're at 276.32 with only 6 minutes left. So I would expect SPY to close right around, if not a little bit under. And I would expect QQQ to close a little bit above. And what I think that's going to do is it's going to give people confidence holding overnight tonight long into this debate. and we could potentially see a bear catalyst and some downward pressure tomorrow if Trump loses or Biden comes out on top. We could potentially see a breakdown tomorrow, and that's what I think they're going to do. I think they're going to potentially gap this down hard, and a lot of people who were using the 50-day moving average as a stop on QQQ just going to bypass their stop, and it's going to send people scrambling. So again, I'm not I don't have a crystal ball, but that's what I'm expecting, and that's what I'm preparing for. Obviously, I have some MJ positions as well, but I did want to highlight that's where I think we're going on QQQ and SPY. You can see here starting to pick up on the sell side here as well on SPY with 4 minutes left. So let's take a look at some other indices. I'm not going to go through them all because there wasn't any huge noteworthy, because like I said, we're just been going sideways, been pretty choppy for the most part. We did see that oil had a weekly inside bar bear break. So we hit a low today of 38.44. Looked like the sky was falling there on just concerns over the economy and the recovery. And we are bouncing nicely, and we'll have to see how we end the week on oil. But we did, like I said, we did have that daily equilibrium. And see here, high, low, high, higher low, lower high, bear break. Just looking for another higher low on the daily. And we'll see if the oil bulls can follow through and confirm a daily uptrend. And taking a look at SPY. Before we jump into SPY, I did want to highlight DXY actually. So in my video yesterday, I said if we can keep closing around the 93.90 level, it'll be bullish, and over 94 is definitely bullish on the dollar. So I'd like to see how this closes here into the end of the day, and we'll check back here in just a moment. But you can see we're holding that base of support around the 92.80, mid 80 level. And it could potentially still be a daily bull flag holding that EMA 12 support. So if we drop below the low of today, which was 93.82, I would consider that a failed bull flag, and we'll negate that as a possibility. But right now we're just looking for a daily higher low, and all eyes on the hourly chart here. We'll see we formed a lot of space for bulls to potentially form a higher low and a higher high for a trend change here, which would confirm that the daily higher low is set. So all eyes on the hourly time frame on the dollar. Next on the list, I had a note here about the dollar as well. So the dollar has a long-term support trend line here that's forming. So you can see we have been, we saw some RSI divergence, some bear divergence, actually bull divergence when we had this inverse head and shoulders and this downtrend. The price was trending down and the price was trending up on the RSI. Sorry, the RSI was trending up as the price was trending down. And now you can see we could be going down to test that support line, but that will be noteworthy as well if we're able to hold that. And I'll definitely be switching bearish here if we're unable to hold that and we're unable to hold the 93.82 level. I'll definitely be bearish on the dollar going into this evening and tonight. So like I said, 2 minutes left. You can see we're bouncing. So starting to look more and more like a daily bull flag potential. And taking a look at SPY, I did want to highlight on SPY that SPY could be a potential weekly bear flag. And you can see that we've got some serious volume coming here on the sell side, trying to pin it below the 50-day moving average. And like I said, QQQ got some sell volume coming in here, but going to close well above the 50-day moving average. And I think that's really going to mess with people going into this evening. A lot of people aren't going to be sure what to do, but you can see definitely some profit taking into the end of the day here with the election looming and the uncertainty that comes with that. So again, SPY could be a weekly bear flag. So I drew this line here. I wouldn't want to see us over 336. If we get over 336, then that would negate the bear flag in my opinion. But the fact that we opened flat today, we're closing red here, it's starting to look more and more like a bear flag. And with DXY as a potential bull flag, we also had a couple other indicators and signals that could be adding fuel to that, and the possibility of a weekly bear flag playing through on SPY, so I'll highlight those in just a second. But I did want to highlight a couple of other things. We had the weekly bear flag and QQQ as well. Saw a little bit more of a bounce than we would typically like to see. But if we just draw this out here on the fib, you can see that we are just at the 382. So this could potentially still be a weekly bear flag as well. And let's take a look at the daily volume on SPY and QQQ dropping off. So bulls not, we knew we were just looking for a daily higher low. Bulls have a lot of space for a daily higher low, but volume dropping off on SPY, volume dropping off on QQQ. So obviously people are just waiting direction for the debate this evening. And you can see we closed above the 50-day moving average on QQQ. SPY closed below. I think that's really going to send people for a loop today. And taking a look at DXY, closed above 93.90. So like I said, well, it hasn't closed yet, but pretty much free to do whatever it wants here right now, depending on how gold does. And gold, you can see that we broke the inside bars bullish, and the daily bounce is underway. Could potentially, we're just looking for a daily lower high here whenever this bounce does top out. How do we know when the bounce tops out? We'll be looking at the hourly trend to see when that's lost. Once that's lost, the increase probability of the lower high being set is increased. That's pretty much all I wanted to highlight in regards to the indices. I'm going to go over some individual tickers here real quick. So again, in my video yesterday, I said that they're probably going to make Apple and Tesla just hover around where they were so that people who bought post-split can't sell. There's tons of people just waiting for it to get back up to those levels for them to break even. And that's exactly what's been happening. And Tesla closed at 418.99 and Apple at 114.10, and basically just flat going into the after hours here. So again, it's looking more and more like they're not going to allow these people to sell who bought post split. And basically those people are just sitting here waiting, wishing, hoping that things get back to where they were. I saw that Bank of America upgraded SPY to 430, maybe in 2021, maybe in 2022, but I highly doubt that the weekly charts certainly do not concur with that analysis and that prediction. So, and I personally think it's, we saw JP Morgan said today that they could see another 10% rise in stocks, but they also paid like, I think $900 million in regards to fraud and money laundering. So I personally don't trust them as far as I can throw them. But one thing I wanted to bring up in regards to the QQQ and the SPY weekly bear flag potential, we do have a head and shoulders forming on Amazon, which I highlighted in yesterday's video. That would line up well with that SPY and QQQ bear flag. And if we take a look at Microsoft as well, you can see that we have a head and shoulders pattern that could potentially be forming. So we'll be looking at the $200 psychological for sure, but we'll want to hold here the low of 196.38. And taking a look at what is last on the list. So I did want to highlight shop as well. So here's the definition of a bubble. And I challenge you, let me know in the comments below if you've ever come across a ticker where you've seen a chart like this. But I challenge you to go and search. I bet you'd spend days and weeks without even finding anything. But I challenge you to find another chart that's like shop. And in my opinion, this is the definition of a bubble. We've gotten higher and higher on the RSI each time. This is the third time. Is the third time's the three strikes you're out? Maybe, I don't know. But what other chart do you know on the monthly that has been more monthly overbought than not? That's just absolutely pure madness in my opinion, and a definition of a bubble. And one of these times, I had a lot of friends ask me when they should buy shop and the consolidation, and personally, I wouldn't be looking to buy it until at least $400 or $500. That's where I'd even consider an entry. Right now, you're just out to lunch. You're absolutely dreaming. This isn't financial advice. I'm not, my strategy is not the best strategy. I know this, but if you think investing in stocks or in tech specifically right now is a good idea, God, I don't know hopefully you know what you're doing because or you're using a stop loss, because in my opinion, going long on any tech name right now is absolutely ludicrous. So again, challenge you, let me know in the comments below if you've ever seen a monthly chart that's been more monthly overbought than not. And as per member request, I did want to highlight CELG. So I had a member asking about this today. You can see that we had a huge day today and huge week really, but huge volume, back over $1, closed at the high of the day, near the high of the day. High of the day was 107. So closed near the high of the day, filled the gap, definitely bullish. If anybody knows why, I personally don't know why this shot up over 30% today. We've been looking, but we haven't seen anything. So maybe it's news to come, but look at that daily RSI rate from oversold to overbought in no time. Absolutely straight moonshot, but I'd be cautious on this name if you're looking at any entries. If you're not, if you're still in, we haven't changed the daily trend. We came straight off the lows. So if you're looking to get in, if you're bullish, potentially you could be shorting here. If you're bearish, maybe you're an aggressive bear. Maybe you're looking to short off the 113 resistance. We came close enough. Maybe you've already opened a short position. Maybe you're a patient bull and you're waiting for a higher low. So potential to see something like this. So load up on a higher low, but just remember that these names that run 30, 50% in no time, they can drop just as fast. So 80% in a matter of 4 days. So just keep that in mind that you'll want to be using a stop loss and make sure you have a game plan for sure going into that. So summary tonight, we have the debate again at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So all eyes will be on that. We'll be watching the futures market for any clues. We'll be looking at the dollar. We'll be looking at gold. So gold is starting to see a boost because of these renewed stimulus hopes. Personally, I think it's just smoke and mirrors. I think it's just a way for them to get people bullish. And we see multiple provinces, multiple countries starting to lock down again. I know Madrid and Spain also did as well. So I personally don't think they're going to approve another stimulus bill when there's still so much uncertainty and they don't know if there's going to be another occurrence. Maybe this time it's going to be worse than the first, who knows? But personally, I think it's just a ploy I think it's just a bull trap to get people to buy in at already super overvalued prices. And hopefully I'm wrong, because a lot of people I think are going to be hurt by this, but we'll see. All eyes on the debate tonight, and then the stimulus bill talks resume tomorrow. So there's definitely going to be some choppy action going into tomorrow. And just make sure that you have a plan. Do not get complacent, and just know that there'll always be a time to reload cheaper. And if you're sitting cash right now, in my opinion, that's probably the best thing that you can do. I'm personally short, and I have some cash as well and some longs in MJ, but just know that cash is a position, and not losing is definitely a good idea right now. And it's very, very hard in the market right now. It's very difficult to determine which way we're going to go. And if you went long off 319 when the demo rats, released that renewed stimulus hopes right at daily support, congratulations. We've seen a huge bounce from that low, and I don't think the bleeding's over yet. So just make sure you have a plan, stay cautious. Good luck out there tomorrow. And again, all eyes on the debate. So we'll check back in tomorrow for another daily market recap. Have a great night, everyone, and take care.